Wednesday. I'd say stay warm, but good luck. David's dressed like he's going on an expedition to Antarctica. Kang walked out of here in a parka. What the hell's going on? That glass could take a semi-truck, but it can't handle -2 degrees? What the hell's going on in there?
That is correct. It is freezing in this studio.
Now, Kenny, luckily, has the benefit of alcohol seeping through his pores. That keeps you warm. Kenny's like, no, I'm good. David's about to put a jacket on.
It is cold, and I walked in there right before the show.
Nice and toasty back here, boys.
Somebody open a window?
It feels like it.
That's from that, what is that? That Ambassador rum you drink, or whatever the hell it is.
Admiral Nelson. Damn it, get it right.
No, I got Jets on the brain because Aaron Glenn's up on the TV with a Jet logo. Mr. Ambassador hired him. So, yeah, literally a moment ago, Aaron Glenn is gone. So let's do this. We're going to have a Goff conversation today. So this will probably get bloody. We do want to talk a little bit about a topic Rico got invested in with a few callers yesterday, but do it in a more formal manner, which is which loss gutted you more? Last year, up 17 against San Francisco in the NFC title game, or what went down Saturday night? So we've got a lot to do, but look, here's my question. And I want to see if people are going to live in reality or fantasy land. And that just really is the dividing line in this. So it's bad enough if you lose both your coordinators or one of your coordinators. The idea is you had high-level people here.
Yep.
And they're both high-level enough that they had their choice of job. Ben Johnson, I truly believe any team not named the Patriots, the job could have been his if he wanted it. For Aaron Glenn, at least 2 of the 6 openings were his if he wanted it. Saints or Jets.
The Jets didn't want Ben Johnson either, don't forget.
They couldn't get Ben Johnson. Yeah. But, okay. So here's my question. You lose both coordinators. You know where I stand on that. But now you lose Terrell Williams, your D-line coach. He's going to be a DC. You are almost assuredly losing one or both of Hank Fraley and Mark Brunell. And you got to be on the lookout now where you're going, wait a minute. In this hypothetical space we're in, I lost my OC, my DC, my D-line, QB, and O-line coach. I mean, it is different when Dan Campbell got here in that, yes, this will be a more coveted job. But you shouldn't be replacing as many as 5 assistants, including both your primary lieutenants. But if you have to, I don't understand, and this is a question I know I can't ask you because I know you're with me on this. So it's like, be curious. I'm being curious. I want to understand how any well-reasoned adult could call a radio show and say, nothing to worry about. Going to be just fine.
And here's the worst part. You go through that whole roster of coaches you lost, it's a lot easier if you won the Super Bowl because you could say, ends justified the means. Guys, we finished the race. You didn't.
Correct.
So,
and the way I view it, guys, there aren't enough qualified people for the amount of jobs that are available. Okay, there's 32 OCs and 32 DCs. More than half of these guys suck at their job.
Yep.
And there aren't 32 high-caliber OCs available. There aren't 32 high-caliber DCs. Then you get into the positional groupings. So when people, like Rico, what I laugh at is people think that Ben Johnsons are built in a lab. No, you found Ben Johnson only through throwing Anthony Lynn in the garbage, then Dan Campbell admitting he couldn't call plays, and you found this guy that at the time was 34 years old and was this Jedi. Okay, great. The odds of doing that again, very low.
Yeah. I mean, because, look, no smarm to Ben Johnson, but it was almost, you're all we got, kid. Until we find something else, it's your job.
Is that Kenny without a beard on the TV? I think that's actually what Kenny would look like without a beard.
You're right.
That's Kenny Cott.
You're right.
Live on SportsCenter. Bald Kenny. That's amazing.
With no beard.
Keep going. Kenny, is that you without a beard? This cat on TV? That kind of, I think that's what you would look like.
What are we talking about here?
The guy with the Eagles logo behind him.
You think that's what I would look like?
With no beard.
With no beard?
Yeah.
Babyface Kenny.
No, I would look like that except like a 16-year-old version of that. I have severe baby face.
All right. Thank you. So my question to the people is this. What is your level of concern as you sit here today? And again, if you choose to live in fantasy land, that's your prerogative. I'm not. My level of concern is a 4 out of 5. You're losing both coordinators You've already lost your D-line coach, and the odds are, I'll split the difference with you. You're losing one of Fraley and Brunell. So, yeah, I'm a 4 out of 5. 5 means you just don't think the team's going to be capable of staying afloat. No, I don't believe that. 4 means you're not going to nail every hire. There will be slippage, but you're good enough to probably still be a playoff team next year. All right? A 3 would be, look, I lost Ben Johnson and my quarterback might take a step back on its own. But being a level 1 or level 2, no. This is too much turnover. And it is not a finished product. No, I don't believe that Aiden coming off a broken leg will play 65 snaps a game next year. No, I don't believe Aleem McNeil will start the season healthy. I don't. Hell, I may not see him till mid-October. No, I don't believe magically you will have the fearsome foursome up front and your D-line. Guys, this is how the league works and why I'm angry about them losing Saturday, not doing the Costa, I will remember you, Sarah McLachlan video. No, I'm not sad. I'm pissed because you only get so many bites at the apple. Now, Dan Campbell's charged with basically rebuilding his entire staff. Yeah, pardon me if I don't think that's going to go great. But I want to know what you guys think. Where's your 1 to 5?
I'm at a 4. I may be leading 4.5 if I'm allowed to because I don't know how Aiden's going to come back to this. I don't know if they're actually going to go out there and draft some players or they're going to go out and get more fun players. And by fun players, I mean like receivers and running backs and tight ends. Are you going to go out and get some offensive or defensive linemen early in the draft rounds? Man, that's a lot to replace. And historically speaking, most teams don't get better when you flip both coordinators in one season. So, yeah, if things break right, you're at a 4. If things break wrong, you're at about a 4.5 or a 5. So, yeah, you've hit critical mass. This is crisis mode, in my opinion.
And again, I just please, can we not do this thing of, oh, well, Aaron and Ben would never raid Dan Campbell's stat. Don't. Guys, it's a business.
Yeah.
Come on, man. You're moving your wife, your kids. You're moving your life. You need qualified people who are looking for a promotion.
Yeah. And you know what? I've worked well with you. And
that's right.
You know what? You used to do this. Because trust me, it's stuff that they talk about all the time. In the event I ever get a head coaching job, would you mind coming and being my OC or my DC? Yeah, sure. All right. And you've already had that talk. So it's not a big surprise. I'm with you. Dan Campbell, because we said this year, man, he should be up for Coach of the Year. No, if they could do anything remotely of 11 wins next year, that's your Coach of the Year. I'm just going to call it early because that means he did a great job filling in a lot of positions.
And look, could you have the next Ben Johnson here? Maybe. Is it Scotty Montgomery? Is it Engstrand, your passing game coordinator? I don't know.
Randall.
Okay, look, throw whatever name you want out. It's just my biggest fear, there is absolutely no way Jared Goff will have the relationship with the next guy that he had with Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
And therefore, it concerns me about Jared Goff. Because to get the best out of Jared, think about what you've done. And I like Jared Goff. But you had this symbiotic relationship between one of the best OCs in the sport, a guy who was well thought of enough that now, was this the 3rd cycle, he could have had a job. You lose that, you got to rebuild from ground up. Yeah, will Goff have input on the hire? Unless I'm clueless, which I'm not, yes, he will. And then the defensive side? If you want to write it off and go, well, Aaron Glenn sucks, then how'd you have a top 5 defense until the injuries really took? Does he not get credit for that? Does he not get credit for 2 weeks ago, the game plan against Minnesota? So, again, having to do the idea of, well, this is the system we run and the culture. Rico, you nailed it. These are men. They're not machines. They come in with their own ideas, their own way of doing things. And yes, they all got to work for Daddy Campbell. But you can't just 3D print another Ben Johnson or Aaron Glenn.
Right.
And then much less the quality control layer that's underneath them.
Right.
So I would love to hear from the people on this.
Well, Mike, there's a deeper topic in there, but let's just leave it simple because with your next OC, okay, yeah, you work with Goff, but what if Goff ain't your guy.
Well, then you're not taking the job because they're not in a position to move on, nor do I think that's advisable. And the one thing I'll tell people, Jared Goff's contract is going to really trigger. It starts next year, but his cap number in 26 goes to $69 million. Meaning, if you're
stuck with him for 2 years.
You're 2 years, but if you redo the deal to not have $70 million on the books for your quarterback, that means he's your quarterback for 3 and 4 years.
Okay.
So I want people to understand that, like, no one's walking through this door and going, I'll take the gig, but I don't want the quarterback. That's not on the table.
That's why I said I don't want to derail it, but it's just like, what if they end up doing them like Cousins? And like, yeah, we'll pay you, but you're going to sit. We're going to move on to this person. But saying all of that, bringing in all of these coaches, they're coming in with their own strategy. And to think that, oh, well, you'll do everything and run plays like Ben Johnson and do the trick plays. Next guy may not be that type of person. Next guy may come in here and say, you know what? We're just going to run the ball. We're going to learn, run the ball, play action. That's our offense.
And there's no way to preview it. I'll give you an example. So you look at a guy like Scotty Montgomery. Am I going to hold his failed head coaching tenure at East Carolina, his alma mater, against him? No. But I also can't say he's a genius. Like, people are going to come out and go, well, Ergstrand's, he's just like Ben Johnson. Is he? That's like saying 2 cups of coffee are the same. Yeah. I'm not going to put this I'm not going to be negative saying they can't possibly have a good hire. They can. But what I don't want to do is separate it now. Because now both sides of the football are going to be in coaching rehab. I mean, these are major hires. And remember, it's not about staying afloat. Can you be better than you've been to win a Super Bowl? Magic 8 Ball says highly unlikely.
Especially on the defensive side, because it's like, okay, what do we have? Because, heck, by the end of the year, I'm like, I don't even know any of these players. 40? Okay, I don't know who you are. God bless you. Bless your heart.
Mo Allen.
You out there trying. So, okay.
248-539-9797. Yes, we're going to have a Goff conversation. And maybe this is the springboard to it. Because losing Ben Johnson, yes, I think it hurts Jared Goff. Yes, I think he takes a step back. Meaning, I don't think there'll be an MVP in his future. I think he's good. But make no mistake, I don't believe anyone will ever get the better out of Goff than what Ben Johnson got. And before you think that's me being negative, no, it's how much we think of Ben Johnson. Mm-hmm. Can't have it both ways. You can't sit there all bricked up that you have Ben Johnson, and then when he walks out the door,
it didn't matter.
That's not how it works. All right, be curious. And I want to talk to the people. I'm fascinated. Aaron Glenn's the Jets head coach. We'll see who he takes with him now. Go ahead.